Hello, everyone. Welcome to our session for Roblox Studio. I'm going to repeat what I just said just now in case for those who are coming in only now. We're doing a Roblox webinar style, so you guys can follow along if you want to. Now's a good time to download Roblox Studio if you haven't already. But what I would recommend is that you can just follow along without Roblox Studio. You can just watch what I'm doing, but you can always follow along if you want to. And to answer some questions, feel free to put any question you have in the Q&A box at the below. Um, Even before we start, I'll just answer some questions. Did I make all of this? Yes, I made everything that you see on this world. It's a little escape room project that I'm working on. The only thing I did not make is these little zombie guys. I imported these guys from Roblox Studio themselves. I will be changing their skin to something more original than this, this dude. But I did make everything else myself, coding and building wise. Um, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna start in about 5 more minutes. Sorry for keeping you guys waiting. For keeping you guys waiting. I think we're expecting a couple more people to join us. So just give us maybe 3 more minutes. So right now my house is kind of empty. I don't know what else I need to put in it. But it's really empty right now. So the program to design Roblox Studio is to design Roblox games is Roblox Studio. So not the normal Roblox game client window itself. It will be the Roblox Studio. So you have to download the app or program called Roblox Studio. So those who want to download Roblox Studio today, and since we're a little bit early, I can show you how to do it. Over here, this is me. I'm on Roblox.com. Uh, Click on Create, and it will bring you to the Roblox Studio main page. So you can go click on that. Um, Once that loads, you can click on Create New Game, and it'll prompt you to download the program. Of course, I already have the program already downloaded, so it won't ask me to do it again. But if you click on Create New Game, or simply there's another one that says Create, just click on that button, and it'll lead you to where you can download the program itself. Alrighty. We're going to start in just 1 more minute. So if you do want to follow along hands on, This is the best time to download Roblox Studio. We're gonna start in just 1 more minute. If you do want to follow along, please open up a brand new page of Roblox Studio. So opening up the program, you should see something like this. You'll see a lot of templates which you can play around in the future. But for today, we're going to go ahead and click on base plate. So base plate is typically what I start my work on. It's just an empty canvas, an empty sandbox, they call it. So you can build everything you want from this empty canvas. Um, these templates are pretty cool, but I like to build everything myself because when I create a game, I don't want it to be like a copy of someone else's work. So I just like to have it all fresh and created by me. So that's the kind of builder I am. Of course, you can import things from other players' world, but I like to build things original. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on base plate. Okay. Okay. Okay, we will start. Welcome everybody. My name is Aaron. I'm from Empire Code. Um, Today we're gonna do Roblox Studio. So could I get a raise of hands on whoever's played around with Roblox Studio? So in the Zoom chat, you can actually raise your hand. Can I get a raise of hands to whoever has done Roblox Studio? Bit of playing. Yeah, we got a couple people already played around with it. That's great. So hopefully you're familiar with the little interface already. We got a lot of people that has already done it. Cool. So Roblox Studio is just the program used to create Roblox games, right? So instead of playing games, we want to kind of motivate people to create games, become content creators themselves. Instead of playing the games, I want people to start building their own games. If not for fun, but also for some other motivation. For example, making Robux, as we all know. Okay, before we start, I just want to introduce myself and where we're from. This is Empire Code. We are a coding company that teaches from all ranges, from kids from age of 3 and to old people, even 72 years old. We teach at all levels. So we do Scratch, we do Python, we do all sorts of different levels. We do, you know, um, beginner level coding, we do advanced level coding, and even industry level coding for those who are interested. We do a lot of work with philanthropies, meaning like charities. We do a lot of events with that in this whole Southeast Asia region and more. So methodology, this is the so a lot of our teachers are actually industry level, industry standard, coders. So all our curriculum, all our material is created by us. So everything that we research and develop is created by us. So we kind of are proud of what we do here. For example, the Roblox classes that I conduct is was created by me and my team of people. So we teach what we want to learn, right? We also do a lot of partnerships with, um, large organizations such as Google and Microsoft. We are a training partner with Microsoft, and we do a lot of philanthropy work with them. We do a lot of Minecraft work as well, in case you guys are interested in something like that. We are based in Singapore. We are a MOE, also known as Ministry of Education registered. So that means we are authorized by the government here in Singapore to teach um, the schools in Singapore. So we often go out to these workshops to teach Minecraft, Roblox, Python, and everything. So yeah, like I said, we do a lot of organizations. Share some pictures of Lenovo, Microsoft, Google. We teach in every single outlet, pretty much. Okay, so about Roblox Studio, it is a it is a programming language called Lua. It's based on Lua, which wasn't very popular until recently because of Roblox Studio. Could you guys type out what kind of games you guys play in Roblox Studio? What are your favorites? Maybe I can name a couple. What are your couple of favorite games in Roblox Studio? You can type in the Q&A. Jailbreak, classic. I like Jailbreak. It's a bit buggy for me sometimes because I have a um, slow work laptop sometimes if I'm working at home. Tower of Hell. Yes, that's a classic one. So yeah, so there's many games. Flee the Facility. Yeah, you can play that once maybe, and then it's kind of like old. Paintball. That's a new one that I've been picking up recently. It's called Big Paintball, right? Uh, Declan Judge? Yeah. Far West. I have never heard of that. But the one I'm playing right now is Bee Simulator. I think that's a really, really fun game. I don't know. I kind of like mindless gaming, I guess you could call it. You just click, 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 and then it's really fun. If you ever have the chance, please check it out. Bee Simulator. I have 10 bees now, so I'm still trying to work it up. Yeah, so the Roblox is the program where you play the game. Roblox Studio is the program where you create the game, as you saw previously. We encourage people to not only be, gamers. I'm a gamer. I'm sure all of you guys are. But we also want to encourage them to be content creators. It's such a popular thing to be a YouTuber or like a Twitch streamer these days that becoming a content creator is such a valuable thing. At the very least, you get to learn some coding, you get to learn some editing, animations, all sorts of things that could be very valuable for your future career, especially the programming part, obviously. If you want to become like a game developer or even a normal, analyst, scripting, coding, programming language has never been more important. It's so important these days. But also, we can create games to play with friends. Like I said, you can create these games and you can publish them. You can earn Robux because of these game passes. And not only that, it's really fun to play together, but it's also even more fun to create games together. So the sessions over here and online, we have students join together as a team and they make obbies together or like, or battle games together, anything you want basically on Roblox Studio because it's such a good program. All right. About this webinar, so we're going to break this down into three sections, I guess you can call them. First is the navigation. I'm going to give you a quick tip on how to navigate the Roblox Studio in case this is your first time. Second, we're going to talk about building. So for today's session, we're going to build a lightsaber. Here at Empire Code, we're big fans of Star Wars. So we're going to just create a little lightsaber. If you don't want to build a lightsaber, you can build a sword, any item, any kind of tool actually. If you want to make a hot dog, that's also okay. You just get the idea of how to build something. And then finally, if not the most important, the coding. So when you create games, right? When you create games, it's really fun to model something. It can look beautiful, but it's kind of a shame if you made a beautiful lightsaber and it doesn't even do anything, right? So you want the lightsaber to, for example, animate. Uh, we want the lightsaber to do damage. We want the lightsaber to maybe you'll be able to throw the lightsaber, drop the lightsaber, all sorts of different things. And these needs at least some simple coding on it. Okay, so on that note, let's jump ahead into Roblox Studio itself. Give me a second to share my screen. Any questions that are not already answered? I'm so sorry I haven't introduced some of my co-hosts over here. I have Tree especially. He is in the background to answer any questions that you might have. Um, Here and then, while I'm teaching, I will take some questions. But you can also save the questions to the end. I'll answer everything if you have any questions. Okay, so over here is Roblox Studio. We're gonna go through some navigation part. So again, if you have Roblox Studio downloaded already, feel free to join along with me. If you don't, it's okay. We're gonna send this to the email that you sign up on, so you can watch this video again and again, I guess. Aaron Jones, do you have a question? If you do have a question, please throw it in the Q&A. I'm more than happy to answer it for you. My Q&A box is always open. Okay. So yeah, again, so you don't have to follow along. In fact, I recommend you just sit back and relax and watch me do it, and then you can do it later. Sometimes it's easier to just watch and learn, but if you really want to do the hands-on, go for it. So, navigation. If you have played Roblox before, you should know how to navigate. But if you haven't, hopefully you've played some other games like Minecraft or any 3D kind of first-person game. So W is to move forward, or you can also use the arrow keys if you're more familiar with that. Even though I do recommend you learn to use the W to move forward, S to move back, A and D to move left and right. So if you play some games in the future that require computer controls, keyboard controls, W is typically how most games function. The WS to move forward and backwards, A and D is to left and right. Okay. There's a quick tip I want to throw in. Q and E goes down and up. So you press Q or go down, E is to go up. A lot of people don't know that. Um, it's just something really useful. Holding down the right mouse key, so this right side of the mouse key, holding right mouse key, you can actually navigate your world. So you can look around, you can look up and down, left and right. You do use WASD. Nice. Okay. Um, yeah, so getting used to the controls might be kind of difficult at first, but I promise you, and I really, really do promise you that after maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes of playing around with these controls, you will get used to it. And building will be such a breeze. It's really important to learn these controls because if you do play games in the future that use keyboard controls, like I said, it will always require you to use WSAD. So you really should learn how to use it. Yeah. So when I'm navigating, at first we're going to talk about these four most important tools, I like to call them. Select, move, scale, and rotate. They're pretty obvious to what they do, but let me give you some examples. Over here, we're going to click on a part to insert a part into a world. So you notice that every time I click on part, it will just spawn another part. So I can create many, many parts as I wish. I can press backspace or delete to delete the part. Okay, so let me grab one part. We're gonna use the select tool to move it around. So over here, I can move this part around to wherever I like. Um, we have a tool called move. So the move is more intricate. So if you have things that you want to be, how do I say, like exact positions, it's easier to use the move tool. So you must make sure you're clicking on the move tool and you can move it more precise, right? So I can move it more precisely. It's also quite useful if you have, for example, two parts next to each other, and you want to put this part inside of this part for some reason. This is just easier to do with the arrow keys. And finally, you can also use these arrows to move it up and down. So if you use the select tool, you can actually put it up and down. But you use the move tool, you can use it to go up and down, right? We can move it up and down. One very important thing when it comes to building, and this exists in many other like Unity and Blender, is that you must make sure that the parts should at least touch each other. And the good thing about Roblox is that if the parts are touching each other, you can see this white line it has. For example, if you can see in my screen, this white line, it means that it is glued together. They call it a weld. It means that it's glued together. Without this weld, without this white line, if you click on play, it will just kind of roll around and not be stuck together. So typically you want to make sure that this is stuck on. Unless of course you don't want it to be stuck on. Yeah. Okay, next, scale. So scale is changing its size. We can grab these little um, circles, little buttons, to drag it to the size that we need it to be. For example, over here, I'm gonna just go ahead and delete that and build a small house. So scale, right? So I'm scaling this. I need to make walls for the house. This is a simple little house. We can also duplicate with Control D, and you can move that duplicated wall over. Okay. Next, we're going to talk about rotate. So rotating is, you know, it's going to rotate the part. So for example, if I click on rotate and the part, I can simply just rotate it, right? So I'll just show you quickly on how I would build a house. I would take these two, I would duplicate these two, and then I'll rotate them. And boom, I have 4 walls of a house. So yeah, this is just a simple way of building a small house. Of course, we need some roofs, we need some things in the house, but we'll talk about that in the future, I guess. Yeah, hopefully that's clear enough. So under part, we can also insert not just, for example, a square block. We can insert a circle or circle or triangle or cylinder block. So if you click on each of these parts, you can insert whichever shape that you want. For example, I insert a wedge. I have this, and I can use this to build my roof. There, it's my roof. Okay, so far so good. Any questions? Any questions so far? To color and to change its properties, you should be able to navigate to the right-hand side of this window. And how do you get a door? That's a great question. I'll answer that. So let's say, let me get the color down first. So for example, let's say I want this roof to be red. So I can go down over here and pick a reddish, red, really red. And then let's say I want it to be a brick kind of shape. So that's my brick. Remember, Control D is to duplicate something, and when you duplicate something, it just goes into the part itself. So just go ahead and Control D, and then you have a roof, and you can rotate it a little bit, and then poof, it's a roof. Of course, this doesn't look very nice still, but it's a work in progress. How do I get a door? That's a great question. So there's many ways of making a door. Most importantly, we need to make a doorway, right? So we'll move this over here. We will get another wall over here. We will duplicate and then move a part over here. And remember the white color part, white color line, you need that. It's quite important. So there. So this is our doorway. And to make a door, it's simply just a part. Of course, we might need to code this part to make it more, realistic. But let me show you how I can make something really quickly. So I have a door, and it looks fine. It doesn't really look like much, but I can make it a little bit better. How do I do that? So clicking on the part, I can change its properties again. So let's say I wanted to make a glass door. I will change this material to not plastic, but I'll make it glass, sure. But you notice that even as glass, it's kind of solid. It's kind of not transparent. But luckily for us, there is this transparency setting you can change. So let's change this to 0.5. So it's half transparent. So full transparency is obviously invisible. 0.5 is half of that. It is half transparent if it's 0.5. So I like a 0.5, I think. Okay, so that's like a glassy door. You can see it is kind of like a door already. What we can also add is some handles. I can give you some examples later. I can show you some samples of the world I created, I guess. But yeah, so for all the models, the more time you have, it's gonna be better. So, but to make a handle, let's say I have this little handle. This is my door handle. Doesn't look like much, but it is my handle. So you can kind of see that this is a door. You can make it more metallic. You can make it silvery like a like a handle. But this is basically it. Okay, so I can also go ahead and change the colors of all of these walls, right? And let's make them, I don't know, what color should a house be that has a red roof? Like wood color? I'll make the material wood, and then I'll make the house like a brown wood planks. Wood planks is kind of like planky style, like the design. So there, we have a simple house. Oops, I missed out this wall, so I will change this as well. Wood planks and brownish. Yeah, there we go. So it's a wooden house with a red roof, red brick roof. Yeah, so it's pretty simple. All right, any questions before we move on to the lightsaber building part? Yes, I will build the lightsaber slowly so we can follow along. Okay, but this first section is mainly just navigation. Like I said, it will just take time to get used to. Um, that can't be, yeah, so just take some time to practice. What I usually do for my students is I ask them to build a house because I think a house kind of teaches you the basics of building. It uses all the tools over here: select, move, scale, and rotate. So you just have to kind of practice using all of these four tools. There's a lot of like shortcuts to help you with that, but for like a first day session, I think it's better to just avoid the shortcuts and just build it manually. Um, yeah, what's a really good important point is to you need to kind of look around the house. Sometimes you might miss out. Maybe there's like a, oh look, see there's a little hole there, right? So you might want to fill in that hole, for example, right? So we'll fill in that hole to make it more neat. And because I fill out a hole, I have to fill out this hole. Yeah, so you gotta make it more neat. Okay. So yeah, controls. Controls done. Again, just practice with controls. But let's move on to the lightsaber part. So the lightsaber, as well as many items that you pick up in Roblox Studio, is actually something called a tool. For example, B Simulator, you have, the weapons that you pick up, or like Arsenal, you have the weapons as well, or uh, what else do we have? What kind of items does Jailbreak have? Nothing much, right? Don't know. But the pine trees, sure, I can show you how to make pine trees as well. But anyway, you just have to have a lot of, you have a lot of tools, they call them. So let me show you how to make a tool. So for example, if I'm making a lightsaber, first I have to model the lightsaber. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that first. So to make a lightsaber, what we're gonna do is click on part as our new part, okay? We're gonna first make a handle out of it. So normally for a tool, you must have at least one of the parts looks like a handle, and it's gonna work like a handle, but it's gonna look like a handle. What I mean is, this is where the player holds that item. So if it's sword, it's gonna be, the handle part of the sword. Even if it's donut, it's gonna be just one part of the donut where the person can hold the item. So for a lightsaber, it's gonna be, the base of the lightsaber. So I'm gonna go ahead and build the base of the lightsaber. So let's make it something like this, right? It's gonna look something like this. Just a tall little cube, I guess. Tall little cube. Okay. As we learned just now, we can click on the cube and change its color. By the way, in case your Roblox Studio does not have these open, which it should on default view, in case you don't, please go to View over here and turn on Explore and Properties. So make sure that these two are on, and they should be almost always on because it really helps you building. For everything else, you can leave it on or off, but these two are the most important ones. So Explore and Properties should always be on. Then you can see all the different color choices and everything. So let's go ahead and change this handle to be, let's say, what's a good hilt color? Cobblestone material. That is awful, but I don't know. Concrete? Okay, we'll stick with concrete. Black concrete. Okay, so I think that's okay. I think that's okay. Okay, and next we're gonna build the saber itself, the damaging part, right? So over here we're gonna insert a cylinder. So a cylinder is just another shape. It works basically like a cube, but it's just shaped differently. So we're gonna first rotate this so it's upright. Okay, let me just change this a little bit. We're gonna rotate this upright so it just, you know, so it stands upright. And I'm gonna put this right on top of my cube. So for this exercise, sometimes it's quite easy to use the move tool so it's more accurate. That's up to you. Yeah, something like that. So because the saber is a bit longer, I'm gonna just adjust my handle accordingly. There we go. So it's really basic, it's very ugly, but I'll show you how you can spice it up in a little bit. Okay, so let's choose the color. I'm gonna go with the dark side. So I'll go with red. Okay, and there's this special material called neon. So you can go ahead and click on neon to make it neon. And what this material does is that it makes it neon-y. So it's kind of gives off like a light. It's a material called neon. So it just gives off like a white uh, light. Okay, so what's very important is that when you connect cubes together or different shapes together, it is very important to make sure that we have that white line. You see that white line when it connects, that white box? It's very important to have this because a lot of time building, especially with tools, if you don't have this line, it's just gonna fall out of your handle. So you must make sure that everything is connected with this white line. There are advanced building ways to make that connection called welding, but usually this should be enough. If you see that white line, you're safe. You can just secure it like that. Okay? It's very important to also know that the white line exists for all parts, meaning that see the handle at the bottom, it's actually stuck to the ground. And I don't want to have that stuck to the ground because it looked kind of weird when I try to pick it up. So and I just need to make sure that this lightsaber is moved up a little bit, so it's not on the ground. You see, on the ground it has that white line. I have to move it up just a little bit. Okay, so it's off the ground just a little bit. Okay. So over here is when we can, make it look kind of cooler. If if you follow, the recent Star Wars movies, you can, for example, duplicate this thing. I duplicated the saber. You can rotate it this way, and guess who this guy is? Guess what lightsaber I'm making now? Anybody want to guess? Anybody know who this is? Whose lightsaber this belongs to? No, no one knows. It's Kylo Ren's. Yes, it's Kylo Ren. So this is Kylo Ren's lightsaber. Um, if you follow the new Star Wars movies, this is how it looks like. We can also weld this down, but again, we won't focus on that today. So I'm just going to delete that. What we can also do over here is to insert some special objects. So objects are a whole lot of different things. So go to the part, click on it, and you can see in this Explorer, we can see that the part is already selected. See, if I click on this, it will automatically select it in this Explorer. So you can go ahead and click on plus, and over here, we have all sorts of different things. We have, for example, fire. If you wanted to add fire to this part for some reason, you can add sparkles if you want to add sparkles. You can add all sorts of different things, right? We can add sparkles, we can add smoke, we can add fire. I don't think it looks really good with the fire, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. But the sparkles is okay. I'm going to click on the sparkles and maybe change the sparkle color to, I don't know, something like this. Something like this, green, I don't know. Maybe just like this. Maybe just red. There. So it's just little sparkles. Yeah. Looks good. Okay, looks good. So the most important thing to add is your script. So we can add smoke, we can add fire, we can add sparkles, we can add other 3D effects, but the most important thing is to add script. So this brings us to the third section, which is scripting, the coding part. So click on this, click on plus, and add something called script. Okay. So now we're on the script page. So you can always go back to your base plate, your world, by clicking this base plate button, and go back to the script by clicking script. You can navigate between the script and the base plate. Sometimes you have multiple scripts. In fact, a lot of games have a lot of scripts, so you might have to kind of track that. Um, yeah. So over here we have a script. Anybody here has done Scratch or Minecraft Education Edition before? Any sort of coding before? Could I get a raise of hands? If you haven't, that's okay. Okay, we have someone who has. Jen, thank you. Um, so yeah, so those are block-based programming languages, meaning it's kind of easy to drag and drop blocks, whereas Roblox Studio is something called scripting. It's kind of harder, so it's a lot of typing, but you don't have to worry about the typing too much because it's actually quite easy to read. Unlike a lot of other languages like JavaScript or Java, Roblox is quite easy. It's quite a beginner-friendly language. Just like Python, if you're familiar with it, it's another language. It's actually quite easy to read. Um, as you can see over here, it's English. It's plain English. Let me drag and drop this code. For example, over here, I have a damage script. Okay, I have a very simple script over here. I'm just going to copy it and paste it into my lightsaber. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in on this for a little bit. It might be kind of scary and confusing at first. We will be covering, I mean, if learn coding with us, you'll cover what a function is, what are conditional statements. If you're not familiar with those words, they're very beginner. So basically, a function is a block of codes, right? So a block of codes meaning this whole thing is a function. So when we're trying to make a lightsaber, what do we want the lightsaber to do? We want it to do some damage, right? So ignoring, well, not ignoring. So take a look at the script. It should be quite clear what the script does. So it makes the health, give it a new health, which is minus 10. So how much damage does that do? It does 10 damage. So let's say I want to do 20 damage. I should just change this to 20. Yeah. So again, scripting is something that you'll get used to reading, but hopefully even from this simple example, you can see that even with no knowledge of coding, you can kind of guess what this script does, what this code, what do these codes do? Um, Basically, it finds a humanoid, which is a player of the character, and it makes the life minus 20. Simple as that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and play test this code to see if it works. Um, okay, but there's something I forgot to add as well. So I mentioned that when we build tools, we have we build a lot of tools. We can make donuts, a sword, a weapon, for example. We need to do one more thing with this tool. Okay, so we added a script, but the most important thing, we need to add a tool. So click on workspace, click on this plus, and add a tool. So a tool is to let Roblox know that it is a tool. So it can be built as a tool. So I want you to drag these tools into something called the tool over here that we just created. It's just like a folder, okay? And with that, we're almost done. We need to rename one of the parts a handle. Again, this is one of those things that Roblox simply needs to know that this is a handle, okay? So this is a handle. So Roblox knows that it is something that you can hold. So H for handle, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and click on play and see if this works. Okay. Oh, for some reason, my spawn point is far away from it. And I'm gonna go ahead and click, try to grab this tool. Oh, I died. So now we have an issue, right? So every time I'm trying to hold my tool, I kind of die. And that's unfortunate because, I made this lightsaber and I can't even hold it. So there are codes to work around that, but I am glad that my codes work at least. So what we need to do in a lot of the games, right? When you play those games, you have a lot of items already in your backpack when you start the game. For example, in Base Simulator, you already have, your first mining tool, or in your weapon games, you have, your first weapon already. What we need to do is drag this tool all the way down to something called Starter Pack. So Starter Pack is a folder again where Roblox will give you those items to begin with. So if I click on play, I should receive that tool. Okay, so there we go. We have a tool and we can click it and use this tool. And it looks perfect. It looks really, really fine. Um, I can make it more designed. I can put some, more design on. I can, play around with the lights. I can make the saber skinnier. I can add some animation. I can make the handle, much prettier than this simple block. But how it works perfectly. As you can see, when I walked over it, it killed me. So you can actually play test this by putting in something called a dummy. So go to plugins, click on build rig, and click on man rig or woman rig. And this will just simply put a guy in your game. I'll put him over there, and I'll go ahead and click on play. Okay, so over here I have my tool and I'm going to, so when I click on my tool, it doesn't swing. Again, animation scripts, I have plenty of them, but animation scripts are something that you also have to either download or type it up yourself. But as you can see, it does work. So again, animation, this guy, he is dead, but he doesn't look like he's dying because he doesn't have any animation in it. Um, Unfortunately. But yeah, so he is dead. As you can see, his health bar is gone. So I'm glad it works. Um, yeah. So any other questions before I show you something else? Something quite fun to do on Roblox Studio. Any questions? Building wise? Any questions? Okay, so in Roblox Studio, again, I strongly, strongly encourage that everyone builds their own lightsaber or builds their own weapons, builds their own house or anything that they want to build. But it's not a bad idea to take some ideas sometimes. Again, I really encourage that you just build it yourself with some reference pictures. But there is this handy tool. How do you ride a motorbike? This is a great question I can answer right now. Okay, so there is this handy tool, handy thing called a toolbox. So a toolbox is actually some pre-built items already created by other people in Roblox Studio. So you click on toolbox from the main menu, you can see all these models over here. And for example, someone asked, how do you ride a motorbike? Um, Let me type in bike, because so I type in bike, and we can see a lot of bikes over here. Kind of cool. So we can, for example, find a highly rated bike. None of these are highly rated, unfortunately. I guess this is okay. This is okay, and this is okay. So you can actually kind of spawn these tools, toolbox, and you can. They're most of them are scripted already, so it's actually really well done. There are, I would say, no, sorry, I would say a lot of them are scripted, but most of them are not really well done. Um, but you just kind of have to browse through what's good and what's not. But when it comes to building and modeling, obviously they took a very long time to build each of these little intricate designs. And when it comes to scripting, they obviously also took a long time to do this. So, but if you want something, just quick and interactive, and you want to play test your world quicker, using this toolbox is quite useful. For example, I just spawned a bike, and I just spawned another bike. I can click on play to see how it works. So let's give that a try. Uh, okay. So a lot of times these objects might not be very good, so you kind of have to look for the good ones. But hopefully one of this. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's really loud too. And this one works quite well. It's missing some animation, as you can see, but it works quite okay. Works quite okay. This sounds pretty fun. Let's try this one out. Oh, this is much better, don't you think? It's got a bike. Right. This is much better. And goodbye. Yeah, so you can play around the toolbox. If anything, you can take a look at what can inspire you to make something even better, I guess. Yeah. Any other questions? So we are a Singapore-based company. We teach throughout Southeast Asia, but we also are expanding into new territories. In summer this year, 2021, we will be moving into Australia. So if you are interested in learning about coding, programming on Roblox, Minecraft, even Blender, anything like that, please contact us, and we will be more than happy to teach people coding. When will be the next Roblox seminar take place? I guess we could segue into something over here. Give me 1 second. Um, Before I show you something, let me show you something else. Doo-doo-doo. So when it comes to intricate designs, like I keep saying, I'm very into like details, little details. I recently built this. Hopefully, you guys can see this. I recently built this from scratch, like from an empty world. I built our center. So this is one of our campuses in Singapore. This is just scale version of it. So I'm actually sitting right here in this classroom right now. Um, and then So if you want to be inspired, maybe you can build your house. Maybe you can build, your school or something if you want something bigger. But this is scale. This is what our classroom looks like right now. One of our campuses, anyway. So I'll just show you how the doors work. Actually, this is what I was going to show you. So what I teach in Roblox Studio, it covers everything, from games to modeling to having even doors open, elevators, obbies, simulator games, everything, fighting games. It covers everything. Over here we have a door that simply opens. It's called tweening. Tweening is a code that makes objects transform or move. So in this case, we're making this object, the door, move open. So just give you a quick tour of our beautiful classroom. I also have this fridge over here, and you can go into my fridge. I was thinking of making it to teleport you into another world, maybe an obby or something. I don't know. We'll have to think about what I want to do over here. So yeah, I'm actually sitting on this table, on this chair right now. Um, and then I have those, oh, that's those certs you can see in my back. Those are certs. I made the size a bit different, but yeah, this is exactly where I'm sitting right now. Hopefully that's kind of cool. Um, yeah, any other questions? So for Roblox seminar, let me just share this. Okay. So thank you for joining us today. We are doing this weekly Roblox sessions starting next week. So if you are interested in joining us for more Roblox studios or other languages, do contact us. So over here we have a Roblox Studio program, which is for 6 sessions starting next week, and every week, every Wednesday starting next week. I'll give you the schedule in just a little bit, but we're also throwing in a free 60-minute one-to-one session for Minecraft coding. So in case you're interested in something different like Minecraft, I'm sure a lot of people are, this is also included. We're also including a free trial for a sibling. So again, I always say collaboration is the best thing to learn something. If not competitive, it's kind of fun. So if you want to, sit in with a sibling, a sister, brother, that'd be kind of fun. Okay, what's really cool about this is that we will give you one-to-one time. So like today, you have a lot of time asking any questions you have, anything you need to. I can create projects for you. We can have one-to-one sessions about your world building, anything you want. We have kind of small class sizes as well. So we're looking at less than 10 people per classroom. So you get a lot of attention, I guess. We also have a small Roblox community. We also have a Discord community. If you are a student, you're more than welcome to join our community. It's fun of, a bunch of Empire Code students only. So instead of it's usually a price around over $300, but if you sign up for this webinar package because you joined today, it'd only be 225, which is I think a 25% discount. If you are interested in joining us, please let us know by the 20th of Feb because the class will be starting next Wednesday. So we need time to accommodate. So this is the time schedule for the classes. It'll be 5 p.m. Brisbane time every Wednesday starting on the 24th of Feb. If you are interested again, please take a snapshot of this QR code. We'll also be sending this video and these slides to your email. So if you want to check us out then. Before I leave, if you don't mind, I would also like to throw out this poll in case you are not interested in this classes. We're just curious to know why. No hard feelings. I'm just curious to know why you are not interested, if you don't mind. Other than that, thank you for joining us today. Please let me know if any questions. I'm here for at least a while. So if you have any questions, you want to check out any of my projects, please let me know. If you want to see, I don't know, my haunted house project, I think I uploaded it, so you can check it out already. My Roblox name is Empire AT. You can also look me up there. So if you know how to add people on Roblox, it's just Empire, EMPRE, AT. My name, AT, capital A, capital T. Okay. If you are done, please fill out that questionnaire if you don't mind. And thank you for joining us. If you have no other questions, I guess I'll conclude today's class. I'll hang out for a little bit longer though, in case anybody else has any questions. Oh, I do see some of the questions. I think Mr. Tree has been answering most of them, so that's pretty good. Any other questions?
Hi, Aaron, Victor here. I just want to let the audience that is attending that I'm based here, that in Australia, as you mentioned, we are coming to Australia. So any questions, as what Aaron highlighted, the number, that's my mobile. So any questions, feel free to contact me. I'm more than happy to answer any questions.
Good point. Thank you, Mr. Victor. So yeah, if you have any questions, just send him a text, I guess. Okay, on that note, then I will end today's session. Thank you guys so much for joining. My name is Aaron. I'm from Empire Code. Hopefully, we will see you in Australia very soon. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Mr. Aaron. I am Aaron. Thank you, Aaron. Bye bye, Aaron. Bye. Alrighty.
Bye, Aaron.
Bye. Thank you, Tree.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye bye.